If you dare agree with me that our most precious commodity is freedom, then join me by saying freedom is here.
Freedom is here.
If freedom is here, then help me welcome on stage Nana Beku Bediako, aka Cheddar.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you. I know you expected me, but I'm so much privileged and honored to have this opportunity to share my knowledge and my experience with people like you. I would always believe in the youth before I would even believe in myself. And I expect so for our fathers, our leaders, our mothers, our teachers, our doctors, and all the people that we look up to. That the future is you. And that's why I cherish this moment to be here. I could have been anywhere chasing the money, which they call the entrepreneurial responsibilities. But guess what? You're more than that. Thank you very much, Doctor. Your speech makes me feel like I have to acquire more. Maybe I should go and buy a football team very soon. Yeah. So, I actually don't remember anything I learned from school. I'm being very honest. Because I remember they taught me some science, and they said it's to do with biology, physics, and chemistry. But I just don't remember anything from the classes. I don't remember some of the things in economics, in geography, so many things. But why am I telling you this? Because I realized that all that time I spent in school, I had to study to memorize these things so I can spill it on a paper to impress the teacher who is going to mark it and say, well done. So I become first or second in class. But then when I went to the real world, I realized that the theory of what I learned didn't really matter to the practicality of what I was facing in the world. And that's what is going to inspire me today to share my entrepreneurial skills with you. I don't think if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should think that you want to be rich. That's the first rule. Because all I ever wanted was a bicycle. And then when I got the bicycle one day, I gave it away. I gave it away to someone that deserved it at the time that they needed the bicycle more than me. Only to find out that one day, I'm going to have more than bicycles. But everybody seems to think that being an entrepreneur is the only way out to be successful. No. I think first of all, you need to find happiness. Because most people think success will bring you happiness, but happiness will lead you to success. And once you're successful inside, you can start thinking about being an entrepreneur. I wouldn't want to tell you to think like the average person around you, because that's also not going to make you an entrepreneur. You need to be the one standing outside and thinking out of the box. So here are some of the analysis that I've put together. Being a Ghanaian and being an African, I think that the first thing that they bring us up, the way they bring us up, doesn't help us to become entrepreneurs. And I'll tell you why. So your father is a doctor. Your father takes you to school. Then he puts in your head, you have to be a doctor. So then you also try as much as you can to become a doctor. Then you give birth to another child. And then when the child is growing, because you're a doctor, you also say, you have to be a doctor. So what is happening in our countries? Everyone or every parent or every leader is forcing us to become either like them. What do you think you're missing? You're missing something. The freedom to be who you want to be. So that's where it starts from. Being an entrepreneur starts from having the freedom to think of what you think you're capable of doing that will impact society, that will impact humanity. So if everybody is becoming a doctor or a lawyer because their fathers and their mothers are, then they should remember one thing. Not all doctors are entrepreneurs. Not all lawyers are entrepreneurs. We hire the lawyers. We go to the doctors and we pay them to take care of us before they get paid. Therefore, the doctor is a worker. The lawyer is a worker. You want to be an entrepreneur? You need to own your own pond in the government state. You need to have your own audience that you can influence, that you can impact, that you can sell to, that you can control. I call that power. If you can do this, I call that power. Now, I'm not here to discourage you from being educated. Education is good, but the best thing I got out of it is the network. Some of my friends, I don't even see them, but they talk about me. And that's the value maybe I'm getting from them. I always used to think that my friends would be with me for a very long time, only to realize that every 5-10 years, there's a big change in your life. Your friends move on. Some got married. Some went crazy. Yeah, some became poor, and some became rich. And everybody goes their way. That's when you ask yourself, where am I going? So, if you guys are looking to impact your society, your generation, your country, by becoming an entrepreneur, a self-made, self-owned establishment, you should start to value your time very well. Because that's the skills and the second rule that I want to share with you. After freedom is your time. Now, this is your time. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. And it's not going to be next year. You know why? Tomorrow is not promised. So you make your mind now that I'm going to take over. I'm going to change lives. I'm going to impact society. I'm going to become successful. I'm going to become rich. I'm going to become wealthy. I'm going to become, can you hear me? Can you feel me? I'm saying all of these things with authority, with power, with belief. Because you might not have that. So I came here to give you that. I didn't come here to tell you how rich I've become or how successful I've become. No. I'm not here to tease you. I'm here to impact you. You know, you want to be a doctor? Yeah, have some hospitals. Build not even one. Have some more hospitals. And it's not the hospitals that's going to make you the legacy. Guess what? It's how many lives you saved. How many employment you created. See, we have to be remembered for the things we do. Yes, I have come from a long way. And I grew up with a penniless mother who didn't have any money. But for me, I saw that as a great opportunity. A rich man's son is likely to be poor again because he doesn't think he needs money. But a poor man's son should be very hungry to move their mother, their family, from where they're coming from. And that was the beginning of my inspiration. I thought poverty was a curse, and I needed to turn it into a gift. And I did. And that's my pride. It's not my money. It's not the buildings. It's not the watches. It's not the cars. It's the journey that I can say I'm one of the people. I'm walking on a path that millions were scared to walk on. That I'm speaking the language that billions are scared to speak. That I have freedom and no one can trouble me. Not the law, not the people, and not even the so-called institutions. We're free. I mean, look at us. We have a country with 30 million people. Even if you make salt in sacks, somebody will buy it. We have a free country with forest, with minerals, with different things. And we can't make anything out of it. Is that so? I don't believe in that. I think the world is mine. I think so. And, it might not make that much sense to you, but I really came to take what belongs to me. And anything I lay my hands on, I'll grab it. I will not let go. I will not stop. And when I'm not here, I don't just want to be remembered. I want my absence to be felt. Because if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, then I have to take you to the 7 levels. So I'm making the best use of my time. And I want to tell you this. If you want to be a footballer and you're 18 today, you might have time to become a footballer. But if you turn 27, please, you've missed the time. Think of maybe being a coach, because the football career is gone. So I'm using my time very right, and I'm grabbing what I can grab at the time that I have the energy to do so. I want to inspire you with this. I want you to know your time is the best thing right now. And when you leave here to go home, there's so many things that have been going through your mind that you probably didn't know exactly who you are going to become. But today, I know by the time I leave here, some of you would know that you have embarked a new journey of becoming someone. So, before I leave here, I'll have maybe 5 questions that I would probably answer to all of you. But I know some of you are expecting me to say how I made this and how I built this and how I became like this and that. Is that what you want to hear from me? No man can coach you to become rich. If anyone tells you that, you're talking to Juju. He's lying to you. No one can teach you to become the best. You know why? The best wants to remain the same. He doesn't want you to be in his position. I mean, God is the best of all the best. Do you think he's ever come back to tell us how he created us? Do you think he's going to tell you why he also created the devil? No. So the best will never give you the chance to fill your shoes. However, there is a guy standing beside you who look like he's the worst. That's the one you have to learn from. Because you don't need to be like them. You don't need to repeat their mistakes. And you're here to make their lives better. That makes you the best. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, think of being the best, but not learning from the best. You have to find the ways to be there. And how are you going to do that? Well, I always say, I have this phrase that I say, the greatest people were born great. Were not born great, but they grew great. Because they learned from the mistakes of the greatest people. And they became greater. So there's so many entrepreneurs in Ghana, in Africa, that have made mistakes. But that mistake, you should learn from that mistake to inspire you. Our fathers and our mothers have made some mistakes in our lifetime, and we should learn from that to inspire us. You know, growing up, my mother is a spiritualist, and she was penniless broke. My father was a serial polygamist. I mean, when I say a polygamist, a serial one. And I didn't want to repeat his mistakes. But he had some great dreams. I wanted to finish his dreams. So you see, not all is lost, even from the bad people or the good people around us. Fair enough, you can look at their good side, you can look at their bad side, but there is definitely something that we're supposed to take from humanity, from people, that makes us bigger, that makes us grow bigger. Today, I'm learning from the mistakes of our leaders. I don't know a thing about politics. I don't intend to go there. But there's some kids out there who believe I can probably do better. No, it's because I've been learning from their mistakes. And I'm not here to judge them. I'm here to make sure that mistakes are not repeated in society, and that will become an impactation to change humanity. I started learning from people from when I was very young. And that's how I got my entrepreneurial skills. So who was my mentor? And I'm going to share this one with you. King Solomon. It's a big secret. So when I was growing up, my mentor was King Solomon. Now, he's not, because I figured out what I wanted to figure out from him. But I was so fascinated about this guy. Why? 775 concubines. Hey, 112 wives. And he kills 70 sheep, opened about 60 bags of rice, and he fed 2,000 people every night. My gosh, this guy is rich. He was something else. And I was obsessed with this guy. I mean, I learned everything about him. And the funny thing is, I was so obsessed that I even found out how tall he was. 5'6", almost a midget. But very powerful, very knowledgeable, and he had so much wisdom. The point is, all the bag of rice and the concubines and all these good things that I'm telling you was not what I was trying to find out from King Solomon. I wanted to find out why he lost everything he had. And I couldn't tell my mother. But I had these pictures on my wall. You probably thought maybe I was a little crazy. But the guy, I didn't know his pictures, but whatever I found in Sunday school that is to do with King Solomon, with some man with a crown on, you know, I stick it on my wall. You know, sometimes I pray to God and say, let me become like King Solomon. You know, I'll still take the 775 concubines. And eventually, I realized that he had a covenant with God. That every time God asked him, now that you got everything that you want and you asked me for, what else can I do for you? And he kept telling God, give me more wisdom. Because he knew everything he had came from the wisdom. So God was challenged. And when God is challenged, he becomes a little jealous of you. He wants to see where you slip. Because people think that when you're blessed, it's just a good thing. No, it comes with a whole lot of challenges. God doesn't just bless you. He'll bless you and send thousands of problems towards your way. And you have to deal with every one of them to get more blessing. But some people will say you're a great entrepreneur because you have grace, you have blessings, you have endurance, you have ordination, you have all the great things in life that nature and the universe provides for you because of your heart and your soul. So really, this whole entrepreneurial, I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, my uncles, it's not going to come from the books that you're learning. No. No. That is just going to let you know how to add the 1 plus 1. Like he said, maybe it might be 3, 2, or 4. But really, it's going to come from your heart, your soul, your mind, your vision, your perception, how you see life. That's what makes you rich. That's what makes you wealthy. I feel very rich in my soul. You know why? Because I've invested so much in society and humanity. And I don't need to look back. I know every day somebody don't like me, but somebody likes me. I win some, I find some, I lose some. But I'm still invested in humanity. I'm not stopping. And I feel rich. I'm wealthy. I'm not worried. I have no fear. That's the biggest disease, is fear. So all of you who couldn't become entrepreneurs or who are not becoming entrepreneurs, you have a disease. And your disease is fear. Because you're scared you might not even become the doctor that your father is forcing you to become. You don't even have the freedom to make your own choice. Somebody has made a choice for you, and you still can't do it. You're scared. You're going to become who you're supposed to become. And I really want to go back to King Solomon to let you guys know that I realized he lost everything because he broke his covenant, and it was through relationship with another woman. He broke the code, and everything fell. So, today I took relationship management as the third thing to share with you. After your time, you have your freedom, you have your time, now you have the people. How do you manage them? How do you manage them? I learned this from King Solomon. There's some people, you might manage them by just getting rid of them because you don't need them. That's part of the relationship management. You cut them. But there's some people you have to keep going back to, giving the hands. There's some people you have to invest in. Some people you have to rely on. Some people and some people and some people will make you. I wasn't made by myself. Some people. I remember when I started my business, and I'll release this code for you guys. My first principle was to maximize the space. But I was going into real estate. I'd never done it. I came from the streets, and I got into the corporate world. I went into telecommunications, and I was selling scraps. Then I ended up going into steel business. But then when I got into real estate, I kept going back to the land, my first 2 plots that I bought. And I kept praying on the land. And one day, I heard a voice say, why don't you just build 2 houses on one of the plots instead of building the 2 houses on the 2 plots? So that's how I started my business. I built 2 houses on 1 plot. And that became maximization of the space. So that's one of my biggest secrets. I'm not a developer. I'm not a contractor. I'm not a builder. I'm an entrepreneur, a visionary, an economist that come and maximize whatever space you give me, and I sell it back to you. Yeah. So I started 2 houses on 1 plot. So maybe you should find out some of my biggest maximization. Number 1 is 1.5 plot. After 15 years of practicing maximization, I finally built 108 apartments on 1.5 plots. Yeah, it sounds funny, but I got 7 awards outside Africa. All these white boys, they wanted to see, who is this black man? Like, where does he get his wisdom from and his knowledge? Yeah? It came from my relationship management. I use them. I use the same white man architect. I employed the engineer from Italy. A Ghanaian architect was trying to give me 20 apartments, and the other one was trying to give me 32 apartments. I was looking for hundreds. I need money, please. I'm not here for your celebrity stuff. You want to be an architect and show off your building? That's all good for you. I'm here for the numbers. You want to be an entrepreneur? Think about the numbers. That's the only thing that is going to save you, else you can't be one. It's all about the numbers. So today, what do? I put the buildings up. I maximize the space. And everyone that walks in there somehow have to pay me. So what am I doing? I'm selling you the spaces again. And why do I choose spaces? Because my simple wisdom tells me everything on this earth dwells on a space. Everything. Your schools, it's on a space. The businesses, iPhone, Instagram, whatever. Everybody has an office. Even the footballer, it's on a space. Somebody have to build a stadium for him. So you really need to value the space. And where did the space come from? God gave it to us. That's what we came to meet. So I'm coming to the end of my speech, but I'm trying to tell you, you got to take what belongs to you. I came, I saw, I conquered. Not only that, now I'm hungry to last longer with my reign. And when I finish, I say, yes, I'm the Prince of Africa, and I'll take my crown off and put it on top of one of my people. So the journey continues. It never ends. I hope today, my time with you have made you realize that freedom is very important, that time is very important, that relationship management is very important. Put these 3 things first. And then the rest, keep your mind on the numbers. Because every day, your days are numbered. And one thing that we're all guaranteed is life. But one thing that we're all promised is death. Definitely going to happen. So now that you have the time, every day, remember, Freedom said this. Every day counts. It's numbered. And every day, think of how you can multiply these numbers. Change your nation, change your country, change your world. Thank you. Freedom.